What's up? So today we're going to be reacting to the Kevin Trudeau radio program, a show that he put on.
Hundreds of millions have watched him on TV. 30 million have bought his books. And now, your listeners can hear him on your radio station. This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
The FTC, the FDA, they don't know where I am. We are, in fact, breaking the law. Those of you listening from around the world cannot believe what I'm saying, but it's true. We are talking about ways to cure and prevent disease without drugs and surgery, and that is a criminal offense in America. You know doctors right now that are in jail because they cured people without drugs and surgery.
Talk radio has become a one-trick pony. Apparently, hosts and syndication companies seem to think the only things your listeners care about are red versus blue, right versus left, and elephants versus donkeys.
Barack Obama is president of the United States today because of stupid
Current affairs. You feel good about your president?
Michael Savage, let me tell you like it is, schmuck. Obama has jammed through $1 trillion spending bill.
They couldn't be more wrong. At work, around the dinner table, in the neighborhood, your listeners are talking about their health, the economy, government waste and corruption, and how they can live happy and more complete lives. How do we know? Well, 30 million people have told us. That's how.
Hey, it's Rick from Colorado.
Hi, Kevin. This is
My
Virginia.
name is Lou, and I live in Orlando,
This
Florida.
is Cindy from Connecticut.
My name is Sterling. I'm from Cass County, Missouri. You're an American hero, in my opinion.
You've literally changed my life for the better.
Thanks for letting us know the truth.
One day I'm going to meet you and shake your hand for all that you've done in my life. Thank you so much, Kevin. You're my hero.
So you're getting a lot out of the show?
Are you kidding me? Your show is my being.
Even the king of all media is a Kevin Trudeau fan.
Howard Stern. This character's name that I'm reading the book by is his name is Kevin Trudeau, about the Federal Trade Commission, the Food and Drug Administration, Congress, and the drug companies. It will blow your mind, I guarantee it. He's on the money.
So we are in tough economic times, but because of that, it allows you to really, really focus and create what you really want. And when you stop looking at what you don't want and start focusing on what you do want, that's when you create it. And that's what the whole program is about.
The New York Times best-selling author who has sold some 30 million copies of books like Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About, Debt Cures, and The Weight Loss Cure, Kevin Trudeau, is now on the air. This is the radio show they don't want your listeners to know about. Uncensored radio that levels the playing field, exposes the lies, and names names.
All drug companies want to do is they want to sell more drugs. They want more people to take more drugs every day for the rest of their life. It isn't a secret. The CEOs say it in their meetings. Their goal is not curing and preventing disease.
Take a look at your current hosts. Do they have a 70% recognition rate among your listeners? Do they spend up to $1 million a week on TV in your market? Do they use their publishing, online, and TV empires to promote your station? How often do they make personal appearances in your market to help you make more money? Maybe it's time you had talent who does all those things.
Ron Paul, thank you very much for joining me. Why do IRS agents, why do they have to have guns when they come to your office?
I guess it's because they're afraid people will be angry enough to shoot them.
Maybe you're not ready for this show. Maybe your programming and sales teams can't handle what this show will bring week in and week out.
You can't handle the truth.
Maybe you should just stick to that blockbuster lineup of Mr. Fix-It.
I'm getting ready to hang this vintage Victorian wallpaper.
The computer nerd.
We got an email request on the steps to replace a bad CD-ROM or add one.
And the real estate huckster.
For those of you who are smart enough to take advantage of what's...
Oh, you are ready for the Kevin Trudeau Show, huh? We thought so. Reserve the most powerful, intriguing, must-hear, explosive radio show sweeping the country. The fastest-growing radio show in America. The Kevin Trudeau Show. Guaranteed to make your station sound larger than life. The remedy for boring talk radio.
I gotta pull back the curtain and expose the great Oz for who he really is. We gotta share with you the solutions so that you can make more money, save more money, keep more money, and enjoy your freedom.
Did I mention that you'll get on-air and online content, including video of the show for free. Get this show for your station, your sales reps, your listeners today. Call 630-468-2457 or email affiliates at KTRadioNetwork.com today.
And bring America back to being the bastion of freedom and the greatest country on the planet. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
He's uncensored. He's unafraid. And if you don't call now to reserve the Kevin Trudeau Show for your station, he could be on the air down the street. Call 630-468-2457 or email affiliates at KTRadioNetwork.com today. The Kevin Trudeau Show. Hundreds of millions have watched him on TV. 30 million have bought his books. This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better. I'm Jesse Ventura, host of a brand new series, TV show starting tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central Time, called Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura on True TV. Not reality, actuality. He's the former governor of Minnesota. And a phenomenal guy and a very well-known author. Jesse, thanks for being my guest.
Kevin, it's always great to talk to you. Keep up the great work. And you know what? We're the true patriots of this country, because remember what Thomas Jefferson said, dissension is the greatest form of patriotism.
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
The FTC, the FDA, they don't know where I am. We are, in fact, breaking...
Show.
Is the greatest form country, because remember what Thomas Jefferson said, dissension is the greatest form of patriotism.
Thomas Jefferson, huh?
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
The FTC, the FDA, they don't know where I am. We are, in fact, breaking the law. Those of you listening from around the world cannot believe what I'm saying, but it's true. We are talking about ways to cure and prevent disease without drugs and surgery, and that is a criminal offense in America. You know doctors right now that are in jail because they cured people without drugs and surgery.
Even the king of all media is a Kevin Trudeau fan.
Howard Stern. This character's name that I'm reading the book by is, his name is Kevin Trudeau, about the Federal Trade Commission, the Food and Drug Administration, Congress, and the drug companies. It will blow your mind, I guarantee it. He's on the money.
Get the book, Knockout, Interviews with Doctors Who Are Curing Cancer, by Suzanne Summers.
So I've read your books, and we've talked before. I've followed you forever, and you're just a perfect example of kill the messenger.
The New York Times best-selling author who has sold some 30 million copies of books like Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About, Debt Cures, and The Weight Loss Cure, Kevin Trudeau, is now on the air.
Imagine having people in Washington that actually represent the citizens instead of representing the party. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the party. These representatives represent American citizens. The false information that was being touted by the tobacco industry in the 50s is being done right now today by the drug companies. This is a real ad that really ran in the 50s.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette.
Lies by greedy, evil, corporate businessmen who do not care if you die as long as they make money.
He's uncensored. He's unafraid. Call 630-468-2457. The Kevin Trudeau Show.
I've been exposed to network marketing since 1979. And in 1996, I joined a network marketing company as a regular distributor like anybody else. Had never been, never built a downline, had no, contacts in network marketing at that time. And in 1996, I joined a company. It was publicly traded. I took an equity position. I got some stock and some warrants and some options. Became a regular distributor. That company was publicly traded. And I called up 4 of my friends and said, hey, meet me at Max's Delicatessen. I was living in Lincoln Park, Chicago at the time. I said, and Max's is no longer there. I said, meet me at Max's Delicatessen. I want to show you this multi-level marketing business, something you may have an interest in. So my 4 friends met me. We had lunch, and I explained to them this network marketing business. And they all got in, and I gave them a bunch of applications. And I said, go tell people about this and fax them the application and tell them they should sign in. And, they should get in this thing. It looks like we can make some good money on it. Over the next 18 months, over 200,000 people joined that company in my downline. We did close to $300 million in sales. The stock went from 50 cents to $35. Hundreds of people made millions of dollars, both on the stock and plus the commissions from their downline bonuses. I think that's a record in network marketing that nobody has ever broken that. No, and I don't think anybody ever will. It just was an unprecedented growth and profit in network marketing. Now, I know a little bit about network marketing. I think a lot more than 99.99% of the people out there. So people ask me, how do you pick a right company? How do you make money in network marketing? And let me just give you one little key here. Now, this key element of being successful in network marketing is going to blow out 99% of the network marketing companies that you could consider joining. And here's what it is. When you join a network marketing company, that company could be a really good company with really excellent management. It could be very well financed, and it could have an excellent product. It could also have a very generous compensation or marketing plan. That is all well and good. You also could be joining that company relatively close to the beginning, which is an advantage. But the chances of you making money are 0 or close to 0 if the company doesn't have one factor. And that factor is, does that company or does your upline have a system in place to support you? Now, let me explain this. When you join a network marketing company, most people that will sponsor you, all they're trying to do is sponsor hundreds of people. They sign you up, and you never hear from your sponsor or anybody above them ever again. You're on your own. You're the Lone Ranger. And the chances of you being successful are like next to 0. You're completely on your own. So what you do is you then take your wonderful product and you call up your friends, relatives, and neighbors, and you tell them about this wonderful product. Hopefully, they'll buy it so you can make some commission. And then you'll say, you should become a distributor too. And you hope that that's going to multiply. You sign up a few people, they'll in turn sign up a few people, they'll in turn sell some product and sign up a few people, and on and on. And you hope after a few months or a few years, you have thousands of people under you or in your downline, all buying and selling a little product and all recruiting some new people. Everything they don't want you to know about. Thank you for joining me. Kevin Trudeau here. Man, a lot to talk about today. And then I am leaving the studio, rushing to hop on the jet, going to the sun of Cancun, where I will be eating guacamole. Brandy, you're coming. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
Who else is coming? Anybody else coming here? We got perfect. We're gonna have a good time. Party tomorrow night. Big party tomorrow night. You know about that, right? Natalie told you. Yep. party tomorrow night. We will have the
I know
Mariachi
how long
band,
ago
the
this was.
Macaracca band. What's the name of this?
2010?
Cucaracha band. No? What
February
is it?
2010, huh?
Mariachi. Mariachi. There we go. The Macaracca band. Cucaracha band. Mexico is where we're headed. And I love Mexicans. People who hear me talk about illegal immigrants and say, you don't like Mexicans. And I love Mexicans and I love Mexico. And I love people legally coming to America and starting a new life and immigrating to the United States of America. I love immigrants.
Yeah.
I love immigrants.
Yeah,
I love various cultures, whether it's Mexicans or Russians or
when you
any other type of group that is coming in groves. The Vietnamese, the Japanese, the Chinese, it doesn't matter. I really like and respect people that decide to leave their friends, their family, their culture, their roots, and think that America is the land of free enterprise, and they want to come here, and they legally immigrate to this country,
legally,
and they start a new life. That's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is. It's amazing.
What I disagree with, and the majority of American citizens disagree with, unfortunately, the politicians don't disagree, but what I disagree with is when people from Mexico or any other country break the law and come into America illegally, and then take taxpayers' money.
What's up with that?
That is an abomination. This is an outrage. And why these pansy-ass, absolute, gutless, spineless, politically correct politicians that you keep electing, why they aren't outraged when some scum criminal comes into America. So, they're not a criminal. They're a hardworking family. They broke the law. Yes or no? They broke the law. Yes or no, Senator? Answer the question, Senator. Mr. Congressman, Ms. Congressman, Ms. Congresswoman, whatever you want to be called,
what's up with that?
Answer the question.
The people
did they break the law that you guys voted on and wrote? Congress wrote the law.
Or were born here naturally.
And these people in Mexico come into America, break the law. And when they get here, they get in the welfare line and send their kids to school, and you and I, taxpayers, pay for the kids to go to school.
Right, what's up
then when
with
the
that?
kid breaks his arm, he goes rushing to the hospital, and then you and I pay for his broken arm.
We are paying.
And these people then live in homes that you and I have to pay for.
They're utilizing the infrastructure
why does that make me
for.
Or Michael Savage or anybody else a hateful person? These people broke the law. Hey, they're just trying to take care of their kids. Okay.
And I understand that.
Well,
I get that.
There was
I respect that. They're trying to take care of the kids.
He was struggling, and his wife, and he had 3 kids. He decided to do a hoax and send a balloon up in the air and go on television and say, my 6-year-old is in the balloon. And he did this because he wanted to take care of his kids. He wanted to become a celebrity, and he thought doing this would get him money. He could write a book. He would go on television. He'd become a celebrity. He broke the law to take care of his kids. We're outraged at this person. Why aren't we outraged at the illegal immigrants? There's 30 million illegal immigrants in America. 30 million. They're uneducated. They refuse to speak English.
Huh?
And they're costing American taxpayers,
12 years later,
depending on who you talk to, the estimates are anywhere from $300 billion on the low end up to $1 trillion on the high end. That's what it's costing American taxpayers. When you give your money in taxes, when you pay your IRS bill, when you pay taxes, and that taxes go to the state and federal government, the state and federal government has to take 30% of those tax dollars and use it to pay for illegal immigrants and all the things that are associated with illegal immigrants.
Wow.
This is an outrage. They're
Right?
coming here, sucking money out of the public trough, taking money out of your pocket, taking food off your table, making the schools worse for your kids. That's what's happening.
All
Oh,
right,
but
time
you
out.
can't...
I'm pausing KT's radio show to insert a little cognition I've had. See, I'm not against people accessing the the money we've paid for in taxes. We've given the politicians, the government. I'm not against people utilizing that money. I've had to, unfortunately, utilize it myself, being a victim of a violent attack and having to go through hospitalizations and brain surgery and complications. And I'm very thankful that I've been able to utilize the, as KT just put it, public trough that we've all funded for years and years and continue to fund. I'm not against people utilizing those resources. Those resources are there for a reason. And I'm very thankful that we have that resource because, I definitely needed it for the optimal, legally high-end American health care that I accessed as I healed up from this vicious attack earlier this year, 2022. And I'm not against that being a public resource, and I'm not against people that take from it, but it is put there for people who pay into it to take from it. Like myself, like I just said, I was viciously attacked earlier this year and needed to use it to save my life. And you all are extremely thankful for that because I'm here to comment and spread this information, just being a conduit for our beloved KT. But, I'm not against that there being that public trough for those who need it to take from it. But for those who have come here illegally against the politicians' own dictates and written rules for accessing the infrastructure that our tax dollars have funded and created. I, I see a problem with that. That's not fair to the rest of us who have paid our dues to be a part of this amazing infrastructure that is the American way of life, the USA way of life. But Mexico didn't make illegal immigrants. Let me rephrase that for all of those of you who are just anxious to be offended at anything. Illegal immigrants did not fund nor endure the legal regulations to instill the infrastructure that illegal immigrants are now trying to enjoy and take from. Well, free for everybody, right? We're not. The aim wasn't ever to freely fund the world, but to fund and give aid to those within our own system that have been paying into it to take from. And again, I'm very thankful that that exists. You know, at one time I didn't know if it, you know, having not utilized it my entire life for some 25 years or whatever, I at one time in my earlier years didn't see the need for it or value it like I currently do, like I have in this broadcast, but you know, it is there, thankfully, for those who need it. And I agree that those who have not funded it for years and years and years of their lives to now take from it, I agree that that's unfair. Continue, KT. I'm going to quit blabbing and let him go.
Can't say anything bad about the Mexicans. Oh no! Again, I love Mexicans. I'm off to Mexico. We're going down there for the Global Information Network function. We got over 1,000 people going to be there. Wish you were there.
I wish
Stay with
I
me.
was there.
Must Hear Radio is
12
next.
years ago.
This is the Kevin
I'll be
Trudeau
there
Show.
if and when
Online
they
at
go back.
KTRadioNetwork.com.
Now I'm a member of the Global Information
This is the
Network.
Kevin Trudeau Show.
Kevin Trudeau here. Thank you for joining me. Everything they don't want you to know about. Next week, man, we got some people on next week. Next week we have The Amazing Kreskin. If you haven't seen a movie, by the way, called The Amazing Buck Howard with, what's the guy's name? Malkovich, John Malkovich. John Malkovich is in a movie called The Amazing Buck Howard. And The Amazing Buck Howard is kind of a story of a real man called the Amazing Kreskin. A lot of you don't know who he is, but Kreskin was on Johnny Carson, I think, 50 times. He is what's called a mentalist. Some people call him a magician, but he's a mentalist. And one of the most amazing stunts that he did over 5,000 times was when he would perform.
Time out. I have, being a part of the Global Information Network, one of my club brothers once recommended that I listen to some audio recordings by this Kreskin guy, and he is an amazing mentalist. I mean, mind-blowing. But again, I'm not going to continue, although I am going to go get some coconut water. Be right back. But while I'm gone, continue, KT.
And he's still performing all over America, by the way. When he performs, at the end, his pay, when they go to pay him, he takes the cash and he leaves and goes off stage with two members of the audience into his green room so they know he's not doing anything. And somebody hides the money anywhere in the auditorium. And then he comes out, and sometimes it takes him 5 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever, but he finds the money, whether it's in somebody's shoe, whether it's in their pocket, whether it's taped underneath a chair, whether it's in a light. The guy is spooky. And I know Kreskin, and people always wonder, is it just a magic trick? Well, magicians around the world have always been challenged, duplicate Kreskin's feat. You're professional magicians. I mean, let's get to all these mind freak guys, right? Good. If you think he's a magician, duplicate it. And not one magician anywhere in the world could duplicate or can duplicate or has duplicated Kreskin's feats. Now, Kreskin is getting up there in years, but he's an amazing man, fascinating guy. And I'm going to have him on the show because I happen to know that what he's doing is not a magic trick. And him and I talked about putting together and revealing what he's really doing in a book, which will not be released until he passes on. But we're going to have him on next week. We also have Suzanne Summers, who has a new book out on cancer. She'll be a guest on next week as well. And Dr. Cal Streeter, a doctor who was put in prison because he cured people without drugs and surgery. So interesting. Next week. This is the show where we talk about everything they don't want you to know about. If you are watching the mainstream media, whether it's CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox, you name it, MSNBC, CNN, whatever. Fox News is the number one news channel. It's watched by more people than any other. ABC, CBS, and NBC still is bigger. CNN is last right now, actually fell off because they're just so blatantly wacky. But when you watch these news organizations, I've said this before in the show, you're not getting news. You're getting the agenda. It's a propaganda medium. Years ago, major conglomerates and governments knew, and we use the word today, by the way, controlling the hearts and minds of the population. When we go into Afghanistan or Iraq, what does the president say? We're going to use the media to change the hearts and minds of the population. We're going to win the hearts and minds of the population by using the media. And so we're going to take control of the media. The United States government has announced, both Bush and Obama and Clinton, they all say the same thing. When they go into countries, whether it was Panama when they got Noriega out, whether it's Iraq, whether it was Vietnam back in that era, they all try to do the same thing. Did it in Korea, they did it in Germany after the war, they did it in Japan after the war. The U.S. government says we are going to take control of the media. This way we can win the hearts and minds of the population. Now, at the same time, they say, and what makes it great that we're in there is we have a free press. Well, you can't have both ways. You can't have a free press and say we're taking control of the media. It's either one or the other. And the bottom line is we know now that the government, the United States federal government and other big governments take control of the television media. And that includes your favorite sitcom. It includes your cartoons for your kids. The federal government is controlling the message that's in the cartoons. The federal government controls the message and the storylines and controls the writers
I grew up on cartoons.
of all of your favorite dramas and comedies, your sitcoms that you're watching on television. They certainly control the news. They control the newspapers. They control the internet now. We know this. We know they're controlling YouTube. We know they're controlling Amazon in terms of what books can be published. We know they're controlling Google, Wikipedia, all the different news sources. This is now so flagrant and so blatantly obvious. So there are news stories of things happening that are being broken by independent, well-respected journalists, fully documented. Journalists verify facts. They can't have one source. If they get one source, they have to verify it with a second or a third or a fourth, and they have to make sure that this is true. That's when they report. And they put these stories out in what's called the Associated Press, the news wires is what it's called, the AP or Reuters, or there's several of them. There are virtually every day tens of thousands of news reports coming across the wires, put out by independent journalists. A fraction of a fraction of a fraction is picked up and talked about in mainstream media. So this show, Everything They Don't Want You to Know About, gives you news which is verified and documented that you're not hearing anywhere else. And is giving you perspectives on the crap that you're hearing on the mainstream media because they're not giving you that news. They're giving you a warped, propagandized perspective. So here's some things that, again, why aren't we hearing this? Front page headline news, bowel cleansing products. Now, a buddy of mine in California, John, he was saying, I'm going to get a colostomy. Not a colostomy, oh God. A colonostomy. A colostomy is one of those bags that when you're really messed up. He wanted to get a colonoscopy, which is where the doctor inserts a tube in your anus and this tube goes up into your rectum, into your lower colon, and it's like a camera, and they're looking around for polyps and cancer and other problems. And it's a... Men are being told by their doctors, you got to do this. You got to do it. You got to watch out for that colon cancer. It's a profit center that I happen to know the guys who got together, and doctors always figure out, how can we increase our profits? Oh, we'll convince everybody that they need to do this new diagnostic test. So this colonoscopy is a test, which I would never do, of course. And I told my friend, look, the reason you don't want to do it is because they're going to give you these drugs to clear out the colon, and the drugs are dangerous. Oh, my doctor says the drugs are fine. I go, is this the same doctor who prescribed Vioxx a couple years ago, where people were dropping dead? The drugs are not fine. Oh, well, there's no side effects. Well, trust me, there are side effects. We had this big argument. All right, well, here we go, headline news. This goes in my Kevin Was Right Again file. Bowel cleansing products linked to serious kidney problems. Specifically, and it goes on to talk about how these drugs given to men, and women for that matter, before they get their colonoscopy, which is, looking at the drugs cause serious kidney failure. It includes also drowsiness, which is persistent, nausea, decreased urine flow caused by an unknown damage to something in the urinary tract, which could be permanent, and swelling of the lower extremities. And I'm laughing because I'm not laughing, but I'm right. I mean, the bottom line is, if you're taking a drug, just because your doctor says take the drug companies are selling drugs to make a profit. And these drugs, every single one of them has negative side effects. So if you're a guy or a gal and you want to get a colonoscopy, I'm not a doctor, but I would just tell you what I would do. No chance. Zero, none whatsoever. If you're having 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, you're perfectly fine. If you're taking lots of probiotics, you're perfectly fine. If you're taking an alkaline saliva and urine test and your body is alkaline, you're perfectly fine. I mean, a colonoscopy, are you kidding me? I'll tell you what's really good and safe. Go get some colonics. Do a colon cleanse. Do that 2 or 3 times a year. You don't need a colonoscopy so you can make your doctors lots of money. And you certainly don't want the drugs, because now the research says bowel cleansing products and colonoscopies linked to serious kidney problems, more problems from drugs that your doctor gives you.
Don't give in to them. The show they don't want you to hear will be heard again in mere seconds. The Kevin Trudeau Show, online at KTRadioNetwork.com. This portion of the Kevin Trudeau Show is brought to you by MagneticoSleep.com. Help your body heal and literally change your life overnight at MagneticoSleep.com.
Kevin Trudeau here. Everything they don't want you to know about. Thank you for joining me. I am going to be going to the calls today. So if you have a comment, if you have a question, please get on the phone. Get in line, and I will be taking phone calls. 888-99-KEVIN. Phone number is 888-99-KEVIN. Give us a call if you have a comment, you want me to talk about something, or if you have a question, or if you want to debate me on an issue. I will be glad to talk about what you want to talk about. 888-99-KEVIN. Also, make sure you visit the website, KTRadioNetwork.com. KTRadioNetwork.com. You can get and sign up for the podcast. You get them all for free. Everything on there is free, by the way. You can get the podcast free. That way you listen to the shows at your convenience on your iTunes, iPod, whatever, commercial free. You can also go there and leave me a voicemail message. We're going to play some voicemail messages today, and we'll play those on the air. I listen to those. You can also leave me an email, and make sure you can sign up for the Insider Email Club. We send out a couple emails a week with updates from the show, with different links and things we talked about on the show to make it convenient for you. That's free of charge. You can also sign up for the book club, so you get a weekly book recommendation as well. More news that is not being talked about in the mainstream media, which should be, because it affects everybody, and it tells people what you need to know and what you want to hear. Okay, here's a headline. Paxil, Prozac, and other antidepressants now confirmed to cause severe birth defects. Duh. Yeah, duh. Yeah, duh. Drugs are freaking poisons. If you're taking drugs, if you're taking over-the-counter medication, what can I tell you? If you take NyQuil, if you take Advil, if you take Tylenol, if you take Motrin, if you take Afrin for a stuffy nose, if you take allergy medication, if you take asthma medication, if you take high blood pressure medication, if you're taking Viagra or Crestor, if you're taking Lipitor, if you're taking Prozac or lithium or Paxil, if you're taking Xanax for anxiety, if you're taking something for high blood pressure, if you're taking any drugs, what can I say? How do I present this? Should I say you are an ignoramus? I don't know. Should I say you are a moron? I don't think so. Should I say you're misinformed? You have been deceived. Right. Should I say it's really not your fault because you've been brainwashed? I don't know what to tell you. If you're taking any non-prescription or prescription drug, you are causing damage to your body. There's nothing else anyone can say. It is ludicrous to suggest that you need drugs to be healthier and live longer. That is the biggest scam going. I can't imagine anybody believing that that's the case. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, it makes zero sense. So here we got Paxil, Prozac, and other antidepressants now linked to birth defects.
Right.
Celexa, Cipromil. I mean, there's like the list goes on. There's there's like 50 of these drugs. Zoloft. They all cause birth defects. So I don't know why you'd be taking them. I have no earthly idea why you'd be taking them. Let's go to the phone lines. Is it Rashawn?
Yep.
How are you today?
Doing good.
All right, calling in from Boston. You got a question or a comment?
Yeah, I have a question. I was listening to your show yesterday, and I heard you talk about orange juice, I guess, like Tropicana Minute Maid, and you mentioned how they basically lie to say that they don't add sugar when they really do. And I was wondering, I don't really I don't like eat everything like organic and stuff really. And my aunt and I live with my parents. They still buy stuff like Tropicana and Minute Maid, and I was wondering, would they add ingredients in there like high fructose corn syrup without having to label it? Or like what other ingredients would they have? Or they could just get around stuff and not label it.
Yeah, let me tell you how it works. The manufacturers of orange juice is a huge lobby. So they have a lobbying group that's in Washington. And so what the group did is they lobby the congressmen and senators to pass laws in their favor. What that means is they give money. They call it lobbying, and it's legal because the senators and congressmen made lobbying legal. So what lobbying means is the Orange Juice Manufacturers Association gives money to the lobbyists who turn around and pay off and bribe the congressmen and senators to pass laws. So one of the laws says that the orange juice manufacturers can add sugar, they can add high fructose corn syrup, they can add regular sugar and not put it on the label as long as it brings up the sugar content to that of what the best oranges would naturally be. So that's how they get around it. So they add sugar without putting it on the label. The second law that was passed is it allows the manufacturers of orange juice to put chemical flavoring agents and aroma agents in the orange juice and not put it on the label because it's making the juice taste like an orange. So when you see that and it says 100% pure fresh squeezed orange juice, it's a lie. There is sugar in it, and that sugar could be sugar or high fructose corn syrup or some other chemical sweetener. But there's also, in every orange juice you buy, chemical flavoring agents and aroma agents. These are poison toxins. I'll give you an example. If you close your eyes and do a taste test between Minute Maid and Tropicana, you can taste the difference. Now, how could that be true? They're getting the oranges from the same tree. The answer is because they're using different chemical agents in the orange juice. So I tell people, you have to stay away from buying stuff like that. And if you live at home, look, my parents do things too. I can't, it's hard to change. But the ideal scene is to get a juice machine and get an organic orange. And if you juice an organic orange in a juice machine, it'll blow you away of the taste. Have you ever had, Rashawn, have you ever had the orange juice that came out of a juice machine?
I think once when I went to Spain, and I remember it was really different and delicious, actually. Like when I was in Europe, I've had oranges, I guess, but I'm not sure if oranges even grow there. You say buy stuff locally, right?
Yeah, I think oranges grow in Spain. I'm pretty sure
they do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure citrus grows out there as well. But if you do that at home, it's going to make an absolutely huge difference. Thanks for calling in. Let's go to Kelly in Connecticut. You're on the Kevin Trudeau Show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good. My question is, Purity products, are they a good multivitamin?
I don't know the brand specifically, so I can't give you. I cannot give you an answer. Are they sold in health food stores or on the internet or through distributors?
I'm finding it actually on the internet, so I don't know if it's in a store.
I'll tell you what to do. If you can email us like a web link, I will be happy to take a look at it, and then we will send you an email back with my suggestion, recommendation, or comment. How's that?
That sounds great. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks very much for calling in, Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
There's so many products on the internet. There's so many products that you can buy, and it's a really good question that Kelly asked. Is this product good? Is it bad? It's really hard to say because when you're looking at things on the internet, I don't know if you knew this, but 99% of the things, 99%, are manufactured from the same 8 vitamin manufacturers. There's 8 manufacturers that produce virtually 80% of all the vitamin mineral products on the market. There's 8 of them. And guess who owns all 8? The pharmaceutical companies. That's why magnesium stearate, talc, and stearic acid and the other poison ingredients are put in there because the pharmaceutical companies manufacture those poisons. They're called flowing agents or excipients, and they put them in vitamin minerals that you buy thinking you're doing yourself a good job. There are a lot of supplements out there, and some are radically different and better than others. I got a lot to talk about. More on vaccines and the swine flu. Stay with me. Kevin Trudeau here. Be right back.
Dial Kevin now at 888-99-KEVIN. More of the unpredictable, unashamed, and uncensored Kevin Trudeau Show is next.
888-99-KEVIN. Just so that I can give you all an update, because this is 12 years old now at least. I don't know if that number is still valid. 888-99-KEVIN. 3846-53846. 888-995-3846. Well, it doesn't sound like it. Now that I've got Bluetooth off, let's retry this number on the speaker so that y'all can hear it.
Please listen carefully as our menu options may have changed. Calls are recorded for quality assurance. Oprima 9 para española. We're very excited to tell you about a special promotion for select callers. This will only take a moment. By answering just a few questions, we will find out if this offer is right for you.
Doesn't sound like that's still a valid number. So I don't recommend calling it and hearing what they have to offer unless you're interested in just strange offers. That's up to you, not me. Don't blame me for that. Back to the KT show.
Everything they don't want you to know about, but I want you to know about it, and you want to hear about it. You're getting it right here. Kevin Trudeau. Man, more news. If you haven't figured it out yet, you need to continue to listen to this show because you'll begin to realize, that you're just being completely 100% manipulated by the media and our government. They're just categorical, pathological liars. But you keep voting them in. I told you the answer. If they're an incumbent, you can't vote for them. If they're a Democrat or a Republican, you cannot vote for them. Don't think that you're throwing your vote away. You're not. You're changing the energy, and even though one election may not make the difference, you've changed the energy so the next election, it will continue to go in the direction where people will stop voting in the criminals who are making the laws, taking the bribes and payoffs, and screwing you. Okay, now here's a couple of interesting things. There's a drug called Chantix that came out to help you quit smoking. Remember, smoking and weight loss are areas that the drug companies, as well as depression, they look at markets and they think, what's a good market? We could sell something, not for somebody who's in, an emergency situation, but what drug can we manufacture that we can hit a huge percentage of the population and get those suckers to buy the drug and use it every day for months, years, or for the rest of their life? That's what drug companies do in their meetings, their marketing meetings. And you think, that can't happen.
In agreement with that.
Listen, just read the Wall Street Journal. Read Investors Business Daily. Read the Financial Times. That's what they talk about. Drug companies figuring out markets and products to sell to huge numbers of people, and products being drugs that these huge numbers of people will take every day for the rest of their life. That's the market. So Chantix came out. It's a drug that helps you stop smoking, allegedly. It's a lie. It doesn't. But now it's being pulled off the market. Actually, it's not even being pulled off the market. There's a relabeling because too many people are dead after taking it. Thousands have died. Tens of thousands have now permanent kidney damage and liver damage because of this drug. And now there are massive class action suits against the drug manufacturers. But they don't care because the FDA is not stopping the sale of it. And they don't care because the drug companies know this is just the cost of doing business. Nothing more than just simply a cost of doing business. I mean, that's how it works. Alessandra from Chicago, you're on the Kevin Trudeau Show.
Hi, Kevin. Great to talk to you. What I want to ask about is you have talked about people being able to change your frequencies, which you vibrate. I happen to be totally blind. I was born congenitally totally blind, being given too much oxygen and therefore prematurely. So what I want to know is it possible, is this a visualization thing? Does it have to do with being able to see light or color or having seen it? Or how do you change your frequency?
No, not at all. That's a good question. You can be blind, you can be deaf, you can have any issue. Your brain and your mind are two different things. And I talk about this at length in the CD series, Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. It's 14 hours of training you how to change that frequency. So changing the frequency there's a sweet spot of what you think about. You don't need a mental image picture. You don't even need sound. It's what you're thinking about. And how do you know if you're thinking the right way? It manifests itself in how you feel. When you feel really, really, really good, your vibration is in line. You're in the sweet spot. So when you're thinking about what you want and you feel good about that, even though you don't have it yet, that's the sweet spot. That's changing your frequency. What most people do is live throughout their life thinking about something they want and feeling frustrated that they don't have it. And that's a frequency of not having it or lack, which keeps it away from you. Or they look at their current situation, whether it's debt or a physical ailment, and they feel frustrated and bad that they have that physical ailment now or debt now, and that makes them feel bad, and so they're vibrating that, creating more of it. So when I say changing frequency or changing vibration, what I'm talking about is thinking about something you want or desire, whatever that may be. And when you think about it, it makes you feel good, even though it's not in your life right now. And when you're in that spot, and that's what I train people how to do, how to get into that, what we call the sweet spot. When you're in that sweet spot, then what you want comes into your life. And sometimes that can happen with hours, days, weeks, or months, but it comes into your life. And before it comes, you're feeling better than ever before anyway. So it's a really wonderful thing.
So, Kevin, for example, and I'm not exaggerating here, I'm being very literal. I am in chronic pain every waking moment. It's been that way for decades. How do you work with a situation like that? And still,
That's really a good question, and it's very, very tough. If you're in a situation where you're dealing with physical pain, that's probably one of the most annoying things in the world, and really makes it difficult for you to feel good. So if you're in a negative, painful situation where it's physical pain, that's a real challenge. What I would suggest is do something to get rid of the pain. But what maybe you want to focus on is, I am going to be pain-free sometime. I know that I'm going to figure out a way to be pain-free. And if you can get into that zone, that's the trick, and that's the tough part. That's the habit. But if you can get into the zone of feeling good now, even though you're in pain, focusing on being out of pain, something will come into your life, whether it's Daryl Started's Biotape, which could do it, whether it's a mineral supplement that could handle the pain issue, whether it's a magnetic mattress pad, something will come into your life that will allow you to eliminate that pain. But the only way that you can eliminate the physical pain now when you're dealing with it every day, like a fibromyalgia situation, is to think, I will be pain-free. I will live a life completely feeling great physically. I don't know how. I don't know when. But I know that's going to come. And if you can find that sweet spot where you can believe that, or I will reduce this pain. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know I can reduce it. Something will come into my life, some system, some method will come where I can reduce it.
I'm pausing it right here because I have even very recently been in a situation where I've been in tremendous pain, and thankfully I had this resource, Kevin Trudeau, already in my mind, in my subconscious, my memory banks, uh, instructing me that how I think is the most important thing that I then needed to change. And I had this understanding that there's a difference between a person's memory, their present experience of life, and their imagination or visions of the future. And I mean, KT doesn't lay it out like that. That was by someone that I got into after listening to KT for a while, a long while, but anyway, I understood that feeling good now is the method to have a better experience of life and to create a better future. So thankfully I was able to eat that elephant one bite at a time and get to my next logical step through the system and get out and be done with it and be in a place of, health and well-being that I can do these amazing reviews and reactions for you, my growing, amazing millions of Awakening Warrior audience. So, yeah. Anyway, links in the description. Your wish is your command.com. Check it out and begin to change your life for the better. Because remember, if you keep thinking the way you've always thought, you'll keep getting what you've always got. So let's continue this for a little bit, and then I'm going to end the show, the reaction for today, even though there are plenty more videos to watch of the KT Radio Show.
That is the sweet spot that'll create it in your life. And you can do that with pain, you can do that with cancer, you can do that with money, you can do that with your job, your boss, a relationship, any situation at all. You can have, be, or do whatever you want in your life. You have the power.
You have the power.
He's uncensored, and you can be too, if you keep it clean. 888-99-KEVIN, The Kevin Trudeau Show. The most unforgettable show in America, hosted by the most memorable man in the world, The Kevin Trudeau Show. Get him on the phone right now at 888-99-KEVIN.
Welcome back. Kevin Trudeau here. Everything they don't want you to know about. Next week, The Amazing Kreskin. If you don't know who he is, Google him. The Amazing Kreskin. He is one of the most amazing men in the world. A movie was done about him with John Malkovich called The Amazing Buck Howard. A great movie. Also next week, Suzanne Summers will be joining me. She is a cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor, without chemotherapy, without drugs, without radiation. But no one, they just refuse to talk about the fact that she is one of millions of people around the world that was diagnosed with cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, lymphatic cancer, liver cancer, that said no to drugs, radiation, and chemotherapy, used natural methods and completely cancer-free. The mainstream media just refuses to say that because
stop the recording for now. Is long enough.
Control.
We'll get back to the rest of this.
Ruth, you're on the Kevin Trudeau Show. Ruth from New York, thanks for joining me.
Peace.
Hi.